So, this week, my presentation is on collaboration, relationships among educators, professionals, and families, and then also some of the issues that we see in those collaboration and relationships with other professionals and families. And as much as I love collaborating with families, this was super hard for me and hard for me to come up with certain strategies and ideas for working with other professionals, especially when we work with children majority of the time and we are collaborating with either little kids, high school kids, junior high kids, and specifically children with mild or severe disabilities. So it's hard for adults to collaborate with each other, especially when there are strong opinions on both sides. So, the overview that services and supports for a child or children with severe disabilities will be more effective if relationships and collaboration throughout the educational team, educators, and other professionals in the family are strong. So, something just to kind of go over right before we get into the strategies of collaboration are the members of the team who need to collaborate with each other to be able to support a child and give them a positive and effective educational experience. So, one of the members of the team are the special educators, where most of us are going into our education, whether it be master's or a bachelor's degrees. We are the people who are the case managers. We schedule IEPs, we organize IEPs, we organize data and collect data, and we get everything prepared. And then we also service the children who have the IEPs and need the goals met and the services and accommodations that are provided by us. Our general educators are a crucial part of the team because they see a lot of things in a general education classroom where we don't see it if our student is not in a self-contained room or in an extended resource type of environment where they are seeing more of the ability for students to have social skills, appropriate behaviors, and the strengths that they see in the classroom. Therapists are a huge part of the team because the therapists will come in for physical therapy, occupational therapy, and other types of supports that these kids need to be able to learn new skills to help them in everyday life, especially when they get past us and past education and the school environment. I love working with our speech and language pathologist at our school who helps the kids be able to understand not only how they speak, but being able to put their speech skills in to be able to talk to other people and ask questions and have conversations. So that is super important to collaborate with them so that you can use their goals in your instruction time, and then the general educator can use those goals as well in instruction time. The school psychologist, who has become one of my great friends this year, can help with testing, assessment, and also give ideas for um, goals and services and accommodations for that child. And I haven't put on their parents yet because we're going to be talking about that towards the end. So these are like members of the team who are those in the classroom and in the educational setting every day. So our team structures, you've got multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary disciplinary team, and the collaborative team. Um, all of these working together to be able to support the students the best way that we know possible. So, collaboration, these are a couple of articles that I found that I really liked the quotes in them and I liked the ideas that they had. Often, collaboration allows individuals to feel valued as they share their knowledge and expertise to produce new knowledge, develop materials, or create plans of action that may benefit those they teach. Researchers have shown collaborative planning can improve student learning outcomes and promote positive school climate. Um, I love this. I am able to go into different classrooms daily and work with teachers and help them have a more positive school climate and to improve their student behaviors where my position is extended resource for the kids that need it and for the behaviors to teach kids appropriate school behaviors and social behaviors, but also supporting teachers so that those behaviors are minimalized in their classroom. And one of the huge things is being able to collaborate with teachers and provide them support. So asking them questions and then providing them supports when they answer those questions and see what they need more of more help with, so then they are more confident in what they're doing, and then they can share with me ideas that they've done. And I love being able to share ideas with what works for them, and then maybe putting that into the classroom that I teach and the kids that I teach, and especially the kids that I teach with behaviors. This field has evolved from single disciplines or entities providing services to understanding that no one person, field, or research is sufficient to address the array of needs presented by infants, toddlers, and preschool age children and their families. And this can go from not just preschool age, but all the way up into high school. I am not qualified to test for cognitive disabilities. I am qualified for academic strengths and weaknesses through certain tests. I am not qualified to look for speech and language um, problems, so that goes to somebody else. I am a certified K through 8, like all over teacher, like a general ed teacher. And then I'm also I will be qualified as a special education teacher. So I do have a little insight on that. But I don't know that general education's classroom because I'm not in there all day. I don't know the kids that the other students are having to sit by. I don't know the supports that are being put into place. So to say that I have the same understanding of what's happening outside of my classroom and my teaching time is just completely wrong. I have no idea. So I have to have those supports from those around me to be able to help give a child a great educational experience and an exceptional one at that. How can effective collaboration be practiced? And this is something that we have to think about. How can we practice it in our classrooms and in our school community? So please think about that. Think about how these effective collaborations can be practiced. And in the discussion part of this presentation, will you guys just say something that you can practice and how it can be practiced? Here are just some ideas. Um, Working with other professionals can be very difficult, especially to come find a solution when many expertise are being used for decision making. In a study done by Tamara Cumming and Sandy Wong at Charles Sturt University, it suggested the staff needs certain supports and backgrounds to approach a team and decide on a common goal for a child. As you all can know, working with other people is very difficult, especially opinionated ones and those who do not work together well. And as an adult and as somebody who is very confident in their ability to teach and to make decisions on my own, sometimes it can feel like a person may be attacking me. So we put up defensives to protect ourselves, but when we put up those defenses, we are not allowing specific strategies to be used in collaboration to help children. And so maybe that's something that you can touch on when you answer this question: how can effective collaboration be practiced? I know that these are some of the strategies that can be used, but let's talk about which ways or what other strategies can be used. Teams to get working together should consider and implement the following strategies: communication, which is huge, by email, text messages, meetings, even a conversation or a debrief after a behavior outburst or something like that. Professional competence, respect is a huge one. Please respect the opinions of the professionals that you work with. Commitment to be able to help each other, that the gen ed teacher is committed to helping the student, and so are you, and you are committed to supporting the gen ed. You're committed to supporting the speech and language pathologist or the therapists, or even those who come in and work with the child in any way, shape, or form. Equality, advocacy, and mostly trust. If you are not trusting of each other, we're going to be missing out on some type of effective collaboration because that little bit of a strategy is missing, and trust is a huge one. This is a report from the National Center for Educational Statistics and Students with Disabilities that 7.2 million children in the United States have a disability of some sort, and that's 15% of all public school children that are receiving these services under IDEA. With the number of children identified with a disability and receiving special education services, there are not enough special education teachers to make sure all of the supports are put into place. So we have paraprofessionals, and especially in education, special education are a tremendous support to the children with special needs in the school environment. These professionals can help the teacher prepare the classroom, help students with severe disabilities, implement behavioral supports, and provide instruction and assistance to small groups or individuals. But please go back and look into the text and see the things that we need to be careful about when assigning children to paraprofessionals. They should not be creating curriculum or anything that like that. They should be under the supervision of a special education teacher, but just helping provide and supervise those students, and they can give the instruction, but over with the supervision of the general or special education teacher, so that the services are being provided in a way that they can help reach the students' goals. So then here are some staff collaboration resources. There's some different articles. If you look right here, there's emphasizing staff collaboration. That is a YouTube video that I really enjoyed to share with you guys, and I really liked what it had to say. What can effective collaboration do for student with exceptional needs? I did forget to type that in right there. Each person that works with a child with disabilities is now part of an educational experience and success of that student. We are now stakeholders. We now believe in these students. We are a part of how this student succeeds. With this incredible opportunity, effective collaboration can help with inclusion in schools. This can build and improve classroom and school community. Effective collaboration also uses expertise from different perspectives to problem solve to provide the best educational opportunities for students. Now we go into partnering with parents and families. And I put parents and families because we're going to get kind of into that, but not every child is raised by a parent. And so we need to be empathetic and understanding to that. So the roles of the parents in special education: consent for assessment and services, decision making, insight about the child, and one of the most important, team members. A lot of times we say that we talk to the experts about what we can do for the child, but we need to remember that parents are our most important experts. They're the experts of their child. They spend the time with the child. They know their interests. They can provide important decision making information about the child. Children with severe disabilities rely on their families for many different basic needs. Since children are in school for the majority of the day, it is important communication is open and available on both sides. The child services and education rely on the partnerships of parents, educators, and other professionals. One thing that I just want to share, just kind of like an anecdote, kind of story, in a meeting with a parent and discussing some things that we can do for a child with some inappropriate school behaviors. Started talking, and it had never been discussed before that he has a different level of respect for men than he does for women. And we are a school of all women and one man who comes part time. And so it's really hard for him to build these relationships with women when he can easily build a relationship with a man. So today, hearing that gave me more insight as to why it is so difficult to build a relationship with him and why it took so long to get that relationship. That parent knew something that I didn't know that could have helped me 3 months ago instead of right now. And that was super. Really thanked that parent for telling us that, so that we have just a little bit more of what this child's brain is like and the way he builds relationships. Relationships with family is super important in building and helping a child with their education. Effective collaboration relationships are built on a foundation of trust, mutual respect, and common commitment, all of which take time to develop and deepen. Teachers must enter into relationships with families with an open mind and a willingness to learn. I'm going to attach this presentation. Please go watch this video and just feel some of the empathy that this person is saying about parents with children with disabilities. And we kind of get the sympathy towards the parents and understanding of what they're going through and why it's happening. We also need to consider family systems and how family systems are so different than they were about 50 years ago, or even more than that. We are seeing more diverse families, more diversity in race and culture and language. We're seeing a different family structure, and we're seeing different strengths and needs from each family. We need to understand that the family structure can be very different. We might not have children who are being raised by mom and dad. They could be being raised by a foster family, a grandma, an aunt, a grandpa, an uncle, a sister, and sometimes the kids are raising themselves. And so we kind of have to understand and be empathetic in those situations and know how to support the members of the family, whoever is raising that child and supporting that child in their education. We need to embrace the diversity of families and support their beliefs and needs for their child. When parents have different beliefs and values, we need to respect those instead of demean them or make them feel like they are any less than anybody else because of their beliefs. We also need to recognize the strengths and needs of other people. That empathy and understanding helps us create that partnership through trust. During today's society, it's really hard for people to meet even basic needs for just one person or for an entire family. And so we need to be empathetic and continue to support that family and that child in the ways that we know how and the ways that we are able to and obligated to. With parent input, educational priorities are where parents should have a voice to advocate for their child. Parents should give ideas about what is most important for their child to learn or what skills need to be taught. Many parents focus on functional skills, social and peer skills, and appropriate behaviors in the classroom. When parent voices are heard and appreciated, goals for a future outside of school can be part of what is taught and worked on in school. And parents they do really focus on those functional skills in the classroom, the social and peer skills, if they are kind, if they're making friends, if they are accepted, and the appropriate behaviors. They don't want their behaviors to distract or cause any lack of learning for students around them or for themselves. And mostly they want their children to be successful. They want their kids to be successful in school as well as outside of school. The role of teachers when collaborating for families. I mean, we've got a lot of different roles. We play a lot of different roles in the classroom, outside of the classroom, once we get home or in public. But when we are collaborating with families, we need to initiate that relationship through communication and let them know that they can trust us and that we are there for the benefit of the child. We're not there to prove we're right or to prove something to everybody. We are there to help the kid. We need to build that foundation by continuing with that communication and that trust and showing the parent what we are there for. We need to maintain and show ongoing support for the parent as well for the child. And when things happen, we need to wrap up and reflect and kind of have a debrief of what we did and what can help at home or what's happening at home that we can help there. When we do that wrap up and that reflection, we can tell the parents that we made a mistake or something and we need to fix it, or that we will the next time. These are some more videos for some supports for teachers and working with parents. This lady, Catherine Witcher, I actually follow her on Instagram and listen to her podcast, and she is very helpful with how to help with IEPs and special education processes. And this one is about how teachers, educators, and parents are smarter than the IEP process, that we are just given an outline of what is the minimum requirements of us, and we can go above and beyond to give the child the type of education that they deserve. And then family engagement, how we can strengthen family involvement and engagement through different things that we can do. and providing that, because once you get a family engaged and a parent involved, it is shown that students will improve and their outcomes in school will be better. I had previously mentioned this article in this study that was done by Cummings and Wong, and it is called Professionals Don't Play Challenges for Early Educators Working in a Transdisciplinary Early Intervention Team. A lot of us may not be doing early childhood educators, or we may not be going into that field. We may be doing like elementary or junior high or high school, but we can still appreciate the findings from this study. The purpose of this study was to determine what roles were in the transdisciplinary team and how they were conducting and delivering play-based programs to students to increase success and collaboration in those truly early childhood educations. Those conducting the study worked closely with program coordinators and other program staff members to receive and record information about the program based on a qualitative study using data collection that would be done by participant observation, recordings of reflective practices, and interviews with the program staff. The participants were invited to be a part of the study, and some volunteered to be as well. Some of them were current and past team members. Some were highly qualified teachers with over 10 years of experience, therapists with that same amount of experience, teachers with other degrees and qualifications, and overall, the educators and professionals had many areas of expertise because some of them did graduate with other degrees or other emphases in education. All were female, and their qualifications came from Australia. The results or findings of the study conclude that there was a value of common guiding philosophies and approaches. The participants saw an importance of reflective practices. They did appreciate the amount of expertise in the cohort, but there were some reservations about implementing some suggestions if they were not the person to experience the providing or with the experience providing the supports. Like, I would not feel comfortable being somebody who provides speech pathology or speech and language services to a child. They agree that there were some professional hierarchies within the team with preference towards scientific knowledge. And I think that's just kind of, as humans, and especially in somebody in education, we tend to look up to and rely on the knowledge of somebody who is more knowledgeable in a certain area and has more of an experience to fall on. They agreed that there were the hierarchies in the teams no matter what they tried to do. They also found there were different meanings for the ultimate goal and the idea for the intervention that was put into place. So there wasn't one specific thing that they were looking for. So there was not a collaborative agreement as to what they were looking for in the study so far, but all of these are really great articles, and I really appreciate the information that they were able to give. So, in the discussion, just talk about how you believe good collaboration should go and how we can have a successful collaboration. Thanks for listening. Of these articles, they are great. One of them is our book, which is also fantastic, and I've really enjoyed reading so far, but all of these are really great articles, and I really appreciate the information that they were able to give. So, in the discussion, just talk about how you believe good collaboration should go and how we can have a successful collaboration. Thanks for listening.